I found Yume almost as soon as I got outside. As I was about to embrace her, I saw her looking up at the sky. Yume, there we go again! Puffing out a stream of little white breaths, Yume looked at me. That thing earlier. Huh? She sounded calm about it. What do you mean? We just walked silently with the sky as our setting. A silent world. It was so silent it felt like we were the only two people on Hatsune Island. There was only us, the night wind, and the fluttering cherry blossom petals. Yume put her arms around her shoulders. Now that you mention it, she was in her pajamas. Well, duh, of course it'd be cold dressed like that at this time of year. Could walk a bit close to me if we're at the gallery, it should be a bit warmer, right? Yume obediently got closer and walked shoulder to shoulder with me. I put my arm around her. As usual, feeling her warmth made my heart skip a few beats. She looked at me and asked me that with a sweet voice. Sorry, I don't have any candy on me at the moment. Yume looked me in the eyes. She looked at me with full confidence. She said she wanted one of my conjured sweets. Hey, do you know about that? My useless little power. I see. I wasn't really bothered that she found out. I still felt a bit guilty about it, though. This is a secret between the two of us, okay? I'm pretty sure I made a promise like that with someone long ago. Besides, Yume had kept it a secret that she knew until now. There's probably no need to worry about that old promise, but still. Got any special requests? That's a rather detailed request. Here you go. I opened my hand and gave the dorayaki I'd created to Yume. Yume giggled for a bit, then she started chipping away at the dorayaki. Magic. Yeah, it's the magic spell for Japanese sweets that Junichi-san taught me. Come to think of it, why did Junichi-san teach me magic? I was sure there must have been some really important reason. But seriously, conjuring sweets? But I just couldn't remember it. I thought about it as hard as I could, but I just couldn't figure it out. Huh? Yume interrupted my thinking. She sounded a little angry. Sorry about that, I was just thinking about something. Yeah, I was wondering why I wanted this power to begin with. I'm sure there was a reason, but I just can't remember it. Yume was still sounding a bit peeved, but she grabbed onto my arm even tighter. Wasn't it was it explained in Otne's route? I think it was. Yume glanced over at me. Dream? You mean like, do I dream while I sleep? Yeah, of course I do. I mean, I'd had lots of dreams, except they weren't really my own. Well, what about the one at the beginning of the novel? That must have surely have been his dream. So, why do you ask? Yume almost whispered as she let it out. It felt like she said it from the bottom of her heart. But I'm sure I've seen Yume's dreams a few times. So... Eh? The future? She looked straight into my eyes. She looked really serious. You have premonitions? Well, that's... Normally I guess most people wouldn't believe it. But I've got two mysterious powers, and then there's Otne and Yuki-san and Junichi-san as well. So this isn't really unusual. What with the people who have all these kinds of weird powers around me. Also, Yume is Yuki-san's daughter, just like Otne. She's got a magician's blood flowing inside her. So I believe it's just as much as someone else wouldn't believe it. Oh, that's what it was for. Come to think of it, I've seen Yume take that notebook out pretty frequently. So after reading her notebook, she'd know what would happen around that time. That's an odd example, because in that scene, wasn't it a bird crapped on Yoshiyuki's head? Just like, oh, that was tragic, that was. So, anytime with a notebook, so... Maybe that's why when Yoshiyuki didn't turn up on time for her birthday, she knew it was going to happen because she'd actually wrote it down? You know, it could also be like the kind of twist where it's like the future is how you see it because you try to change it. So the future predicts that you are trying to change it, and that's what you see. But if you didn't do anything, the future would be different. I don't know. Stuff like that would be pretty confusing. Yume laughed a little, but then she stiffened up. She looked at me with serious eyes. Yeah, I know. Otne would never do something like that without a reason. You know, while it is good that we went for Otne's route before this so that we can, you know, understand what's going on behind the scenes a bit, it also kind of defeats the whole build-up, really, isn't it? It's like, ooh, what could it be? Although, honestly, it still doesn't explain some of the, well, pretty much the other routes in general, really. I mean, the final route better have some good freaking answers to that, man, because, seriously, it still confuses me. Yume suddenly couldn't find the words to say it. I knew what she wanted to say. I knew why she asked me to conjure sweets for her. And I knew why she suddenly told me about her dreams. Yume had seen a dream of our future that ended in sadness. However, me giving up on Yume is a completely different matter. Yume said that the future is the future because it can be changed. But I don't think it's like that. The future is something you can build yourself. So, I have to reply like that. I don't know why Otney did that, nor do I know what kind of dream you had. But I want to be together with you, that's all I know for certain. Do you really think I am so undependable? You think I'll regret going out with me? I would never do something to hurt you, you know that, right? Even Otney is wrong sometimes, and let's see what you saw was just a regular dream. Please trust your boyfriend a bit more. I felt really embarrassed, but I was deadly serious. Yume let out a misty sigh. Yume looked straight at me, emotions brimming on her face. Yeah, okay. She hugged me even tighter and she looked really shy. My heart started beating even louder. I knew our hearts beat faster in unison. Alright. I spontaneously held Yume really close to me. Wait, it's not going. It is! It totally... Are we nearing the end of this route already? It's leading into that. Honestly, I felt this route could have, had a bit more development before getting to this point. And that brings me back to, a thought, these type of scenes could usually literally just be pretty much off-screen. Entirely. I mean, that's why I do LP-wise and all. Because YouTube wouldn't be appropriate, But, think for example, the ski trip. I mean, the traveling to the location, that was off-screen. Didn't show any of that. They off-screen a lot of things. But they always stick to this, don't they? Well, I suppose it's just yeah, I don't know. You asked me that in all seriousness while sitting on my bed. Come on, are you still saying that? Yume was leaning on me and she was shivering. Of course I won't regret it, you dummy. As I said that, I embraced her. There'd be no point in regretting anything after everything we talked about. What about you, Yume? Won't you regret it? I looked straight into Yume's eyes. Yume closed her eyes and let out a little sigh. She gave in and let out a smile. Chip, chip, chip. She bravely said that and lovingly pressed up against me. I can't let go of her anymore. We could no longer go back to being brother and sister. Well, you weren't biologically anyway. But you still keep freaking going on about it. Holding Yume in my arms, I gently kissed her. As if to make sure her lips were really there, I just kept kissing her again and again. Caught up in my kissing and breathing, the blood seemed to rush to Yume's head. I thought it was just and the kiss was so forceful that there was actually a bit of blood. What, you don't like kissing? I really like kissing though, what about you? I see. Our lips met once again, but this time I wouldn't be satisfied with just our lips. Is it going to the off-screen time? I sent my tongue in between her lips and into her mouth. Well, it's not quite off-screen yet. You know what? I don't think this is going to contribute anything plot-wise, and is inevitably going to lead into that type of scene, so I'm off-screening. Unless, of course, within that time, something plot-relevant comes up. Okay, we return to the... well, plot, I suppose. One moment. There we go. It was after I readjust the audio, because when those scenes happen, it's like, okay, volume down, skip away. But I did notice something, like, in the dialogue throughout that, well, more of the inner dialogue, because the actual dialogue was more of, you know, just the traditional oohs, ahs, and all that. But they probably had some plot relevance. Well, I don't know, really. Just skipped it all, but I do remember him mentioning just like the whole siblings thing, and I'm just like, oh, for God's sake. In that type of situation, you're bringing it up still? You're not blood related. You were raised together, but you're not blood related. Could you please freaking give it a rest already? Jesus, tap dancing Christ. I'm sleeping. Sleeping? Also another odd observation. It looked like Yoshiki had a tan. His skin was like, well, tanned looking. How the hell did... is that like... how the hell did he manage that? It's freaking winter. Are you feeling anxious? So it's got you worried? Well, it's okay. I embraced Yume as tightly as I could. And you know, another thing, I'm pretty sure they didn't use protection in that scene. Seriously. Could you use a little precaution? They just get caught up in the heat of the moment every time. Don't think of what could potentially happen afterwards, do they? I think I've actually seen a CG, but I think it's from like an expanded version, I imagine, where they actually did have a baby, but it seemed like it must have been like a kind of flash forward. But I don't really understand that, really, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't think that's in the normal version here. But seriously, man, what the hell? I exhaled deeply on a knife, tickling your rivets. Probably didn't read the text before it. I don't know how anxious you are or what kind of future you've seen, but I'm always going to be right by your side. So don't worry. Just relax and dream of a happy future. It doesn't work that way, Yoshiki. You can't just be like, I'm going to dream of a happy future. Dreams don't work that way. I'll do whatever I can so you'll never be sad. I smiled. I can't believe I pulled such a corny line. Usually I never would have said something like that. But right now, that's just how I feel. Yume snuggled up against my chest. She looked so happy. I wanted to protect her smile. I promised myself that I'd always be there to warm her and calm her. I would make a comment on that, but I'm not going to. Wow. Blah! I woke up and suddenly I couldn't breathe. We were starting, I noticed that Yume was right in front of me. Wait, she kissed him, right, to wake him up, and he just went, Bleh! That must have looked awkward. And she was blushing. Just like, just like, what is it? It's like, I had this weird taste in my mouth and this really odd smell. It's like, are you saying I have bad breath? Yeah, good morning. What the? That was weird. It felt good, but I couldn't breathe. For some reason, my lips smelled slightly of mint. You may ask me that as she kept her finger to her lips. Not bad at all. She seemed a bit displeased. Did you do something? Yume's face brightened up with a smile. Breakfast. When things change, they sure do change. Who would have ever thought that Yume would wake up early and make breakfast? I sat up in bed and looked at the clock. Wait, isn't this way too early to be getting up? If I had breakfast now, I'd still be aged before I had to go to school. But, you know, actually now I think about it, just kind of reminds me of characters like Goku, you know, kind of, when they see food, he's like, nom 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 nom. Because I just think, just like, you have food, see it, it's in front of you, you're allowed to eat it, you eat it. You don't go like, I'm going to savor every little bit of it. No, it's just like, nom 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 nom, done. Just like any after desserts or anything like that. Just like, whatever, and it's gone. But honestly, I'm missing valuable morning sleep hours. And we went to sleep late yesterday. I'm pretty exhausted from that stuff. Yume's face instantly turned bright red. Seeing Yume react like that made me recall all of the previous night's events, and I started blushing myself. I really did it, huh? Yume. Yume kept hitting me on the head while looking really embarrassed. Suddenly, Yume got up really close to me. That was a random one. A surprise attack, huh? Yeah, a bit more harshly than I wanted. Now, come to think about it, you know, a kiss first thing in the morning where your breath is probably just like really bad. I mean, imagine if she hadn't like taken a fresh mint or anything, like freshened up a bit breath-wise before she kissed him. It would be the breath of death. It's just like you're trying to wake him up, not put him into a damn coma. Having said that, Yume turned around shyly and left the room. I could hear her light footsteps as she ran down the stairs. She's just too cute. As soon as homeroom was over, Nanaka showed up at our classroom. She'd be wagging her tail if she could while standing there in front of my desk. Nanaka, did you want something? Well, in typical fashion as I do, I always have to end it in a kind of slightly cliffhanger way. Kind of works like pretty much any series ever made, I imagine. Whether it's like manga, an anime, a TV show, a cartoon, it doesn't matter. Well, actually no, cartoons tend to not really do that. But you get the idea, a lot of fiction does that. Just like, okay, so we've got like this, it's just like forced cliffhangers essentially, just like, we've got to end the episode where there is some kind of cliffhanger, even if it's absolutely pointless. It has to kind of be like, and what will happen next? Although it usually doesn't pay off when it actually gets to it. And sometimes, in some cases, it's like, tune in next time for the next exciting episode where this will change. And the next episode comes around and nothing changes. Then just like, will it change in the next episode? And the next episode doesn't really change much, and then it's just like, the next episode, will it change? I remember the Naruto anime doing that, like, to a ridiculous amount, but not really in the kind of cliffhanger, what will happen next, but more in that damn battle between the, I think it was the third Hokage and Orochimaru, which just, like, constantly pans back to that scene over and over again, recycling the same animation for episode after episode. Because just like, oh, we've still got the Naruto fight going on, so we gotta drag this out as long as possible. We just be like, old man, just freaking get it over with already. Jesus Christ, we've been doing this for like 5 or more episodes now. Man, I'm rambling here, but anyways, I'll see you next time, Sense Reviews. See you next time.